What's going on, everyone? Alex Hormozi, CEO and founder of Acquisition.com. I'm here to talk to you about how to make more money with your offers. We own a portfolio of companies. We help $3 to $10 million minimum companies get to $30 million plus and scale and exit in 3 to 5 years. And for everyone who's below that level, I'm just giving you all this stuff for free with the hopes, genuinely, that you use the stuff and grow to the point where I could maybe help you get rich once so that you never have to get rich again. We're definitely the make your last dollar people, not make your first dollar people. And so this is just my free gift to you because I just want everyone to be wealthy. So let's rock and roll. So creating the Grand Slam offer. All right. So once you know that you're in the right market, you're charging, you've broken your beliefs around pricing, you understand how to deconstruct and recreate value. Now it's time to actually put those pieces together and figure out the outcomes that our clients are going to have, the problems, and how we're going to solve them. All right. So let's dive in. So offer component number 4 is building your offer part 1. All right, so the offer might not be converting because what you're offering is not solving their actual problems. All right, so this is one of the key points where people will market that they're solving a problem, but they're not actually solving the problem with the way that they're providing their fulfillment, their delivery. All right, and so this is the process that I break down when I'm working with one of our portfolio companies is identify the dream outcome that their prospects want. All right. Then we list out all the perceived problems. This is important. It's not just their problems; it's their perceived problems that are going to come up. And then we're going to turn all those problems into solution sets that we're going to solve every single one of them, which basically it eliminates all ways of failure for a client. And then part 2 is going to be packaging that into a delivery system. All right. So let's rock in number 1. All right. Identify dream outcome. So remember this little graphic I had before about the dream outcome. So the idea here is that here's the time period between where they are and where they want to be. We want to make this as easy as possible for this gap. We want the outcome to be as specific as humanly possible, which is this lovely purple arrow up here. And the sentence that you have to think about is, XX specific outcome in YY time period without biggest pain or fear, right? And so this is how we're really deconstructing the value. So we have to think, this is the value that they want. They want to lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks without any risk, right? Or without having to give up the things that they love. Right, so this is very specific for this. Now, you might also even add the avatar, which you've seen in some of my other stuff. Like I help, moms with over 3 kids, lose weight within 6 months without having to go to the gym or change what their family's eating. Okay, well that's going to be really, or without extra trips to the grocery store, right? Or whatever their biggest pain is. And this is why sometimes it's useful to be the prospect. So one of the best things that a lot of entrepreneurs do, an easy recipe for success is solving problems that you've already solved for yourself, which is a classic entrepreneurial journey. Is usually we suffer with something, we're plagued by it, we have the desire to solve our own problem, we solve it, and then we see other people just like us who are struggling the same way, who are down here at the bottom of the pyramid, and they want to be at the top, and we say, hey, I can help you do it because I've already done it, right? And if you think about, like for me, my entrepreneurial career was first I wanted to get in shape, I got in shape. From there, people started asking me how I got in shape, so literally people started paying me to help them, and it was weird because I wasn't even trying to make a business out of it. And then from there, I started a business, helping people get in shape. And then from there, all the people who were helping people get in shape, right? Other trainers, gym owners were like, hey man, how are you building such a good business here? Because in the beginning I wasn't making money, right? And so then I had to figure out how to make money doing that one thing. And so then I was like, okay, well now I just figured out my problem of making my gyms. I had 6 of them. And so I started helping other gyms. And then from there, the next level was there was all these businesses that had licensing products and education and niche consulting businesses. So they came to me and they're like, hey, how did you build Gym Launch to be as big as it was, right? And so then we started helping those guys out. And so it's this continuously iterative process of you solve a problem and do so well that other people notice it. And then what happens eventually is that people will always ask you for help. And so that is the easiest entrepreneurial journey. Obviously, you can always just identify markets and go after them. But I think especially if you're starting out, then that is one of the easiest recipes for success. All right. So identify the dream outcome is number 1. So we have to know what we're actually solving. That's obvious, right? We have to clarify what is the thing we're actually going to solve. And right now, if you don't even know what that is, then you need to write this out, because if you can't clearly articulate it, then how can you help anyone? So like for me with Acquisition.com, me identifying the problem is I'm helping $3 to $10 million at minimum companies get to $30 million plus and exit in 3 to 5 years. Right? And they can do that without messing up, right? That's the dream outcome, that I'm helping a very specific avatar achieve a very specific result in a time period, 3 to 5 years, right? And to decrease their perceived likelihood of risk, it's like, well, I've already done this, 4 or 5 times. So we're really, pretty good at it. All right. And so that is the idea. All right. So second is list out all the perceived problems. All right. So what are the things that are preventing them from getting to where they want to go? Right. You have to think about this. What are all the things that you struggled with on your process, in your journey, right? And so I like to think about this in a couple ways. So one is, what is every single intricate step they're going to have to do or take in order to see success with your product, right? And so if I'm using weight loss as an example because it's a simple one and everyone understands it, obviously I like 1/5 of my portfolio is even fitness related. I just like it because everyone gets it, which is one is like, what are they gonna have to do? They have to go grocery shopping, and then they have to pack and unpack the food, and then they're gonna have to cook the food, and then once they cook the food, they're gonna have to prep it up and divide it into little boxes. Then after that, they're gonna have to eat the food, right? And then from there, they're gonna have to clean their dishes from cooking and from eating the food. And then they also have to feed their family, and then they're also gonna eat out. And so there's all these problems that get in the way, and these intricate steps, step by step by step, that someone has to do in order to be successful when they change the way they eat, right? And so each of these issues has flavors of problems, all right? So if you think about this, like each one of those is one problem, all right? And so each problem has multiple components to it, right? Which for us as entrepreneurs is beautiful because it gives us endless opportunity to solve problems, because that's fundamentally what we do. We solve problems. That's what entrepreneurs are, is problem solvers, all right? And so if you took the value equation that I talked about before, right, and you reverse that, right? When they say grocery shopping is my problem, they're thinking multiple things are the problem. And this is where understanding nuances of language and thought patterns is important, right? One, they're going to say it's not worth it. All right, it's not worth me going and doing grocery shopping stuff. And that is a function of dream outcome. This is not going to be financially worth it for me. The outcome is not worth it, right? The second would be around likelihood of achievement. They're going to say things like, it won't work for me specifically. I won't be able to stick with it. It's too far. There's too many stores. These are all excuses for likelihood of achievement. All right. So our goal is, how can we reverse each of these things? How can we say, it is going to work for you specifically. You will be able to stick with it because of these things that we've done to take into account of that. External factors will get in my way, which is one of the most unique and service specific problems that will be specific to your service. Like if you're selling beauty stuff, or you're selling, how to build a business model, or how to market, or whatever it is, understanding the external factors that are going to get in the way is going to be the most unique part of this. But the remainder of these are actually fairly common across all services. All right. So the third thing, let's say, remember, we're just talking about grocery shopping here, is they're going to say, you know what, it's going to be too hard, it's going to be too confusing, it won't be enjoyable, and I'm going to be bad at it. All right. So think about all these appraisals. These are the thoughts that your prospects are thinking right now. All right. And so that is a function of effort and sacrifice, right? They're thinking this is going to be a lot of effort and sacrifice. And so what we're trying to do is, for each of these, how can I make it easy? Right? How can I make it simple to understand? How can I make it fun? How can I gamify this? And how can I make them feel like they're actually good at it? Right? These are all things that we can change in their perceptions based on how we communicate to them. All right. And then 4 is going to be a function of time, right? It's going to take too long for me to do this. It won't be convenient for me. The outcome will take too long. All right. Which is a key point here. All right. So each of these problems, because I listed a huge amount of problems on the first page. Right? I said grocery list. Grocery shopping. I said meal prep. I said eating out. There's all these problems, but for each of them, they're going to think about the 4 factors of value. And so the beautiful part about this is that this gives us as entrepreneurs so many opportunities to solve problems and provide value, which is the point. So compare what we're talking about right now and all of these different things. Hopefully your mind should be racing with ways that you're currently not solving problems that you can. And by doing this, you'll be able to position yourself in a way that no one else is positioned in the marketplace. Right? Because you're going to solve all these problems that no one else even talks about. And by doing so, you will show that you understand your prospects' problems better than anyone else. They will feel understood. And as a result, increase their conviction, the likelihood that they think that you will be able to solve their problem. That's the idea. All right? So each of these can have 5+ problems or external factors, right? And so I said earlier, grocery shopping, cooking, meal prepping, eating, cleaning food, dishes, feeding the family, eating out. All of them are going to come down to those value equation of, it's going to be hard, it's going to be time consuming, it's going to take too long, it won't work for me, it's not going to be sustainable, etc. Right? And we want to solve each of those problems for each of those external factors and things that are going to get in the way of their success. All right. And so that is why first we figure out what they want, then we figure out all the things that are going to block them. All right. That's listing out all the perceived problems. All right. And then we're going to turn all those problems into solutions. That's the third step here. Okay. And so I'm using the same example just to keep things simple for everyone. All right, so let's say the problem was buying healthy food and grocery shopping, right? And so I said it before, it's hard, it's confusing, I won't like it, I'll suck at it. So what we do is we create a system that will say how to make buying healthy food easy and enjoyable so that anyone can do it, especially busy moms, right? So all we do is reverse the things that people most likely struggle with, and then we actually solve that problem. This is just a word of copy on how to communicate the problem solving. In the next video, I'm going to show you actually how we're going to actually package and deliver this, but this is the communication behind it. All right. So if you say it takes too much time, how to buy healthy food quickly. All right. This is simple. We're not trying to be sexy here. This is just simple ways of taking problems and turning into solutions. It's expensive. How to buy healthy food for less than you can your current grocery bill. Well, now, whatever your current grocery bill is, I'm going to show you how to lose weight and actually spend less than you currently are. That is valuable, right? It's unsustainable. How to make buying healthy food take less effort than buying unhealthy food? Oh, well, then that will be sustainable. Because if it takes you less effort than your current thing does, then you're going to always do the thing that takes less effort to stick with, right? We always go to the path of least resistance as humans, right? Because we only have a certain amount of decision-making power, only a certain amount of energy. And so if I can make my solution less effort than buying the current things they are, then they're going to be likely to stick with it in the long run. And that's something we're going to communicate in our marketing and our sales copy, right? It's not a priority for me. My family's needs are going to get in my way. You know, my kids, they don't want to eat this kind of food. Well, how to buy healthy food for you and your family at the same time, right? So you can go to the same store, right? So this, again, we're only solving the problem around grocery shopping. We would do this list for each of the problems. Now, we'll be able, this is chunking down, right? This is breaking apart, and then we're going to rebundle these things back together in distilled bullets. But this is the process that I go through when I'm thinking about how to solve problems. All right, and then finally, you know, it's undoable if I travel. I won't know what to get if I'm eating out. And then simply put, it's like how to buy healthy food when we're traveling. All right, like I'm not trying to be crazy here. It's just understanding. Literally, if you say this to somebody, and you just said the backside of the equation, the thing is each of them has a handful of these in their mind of reasons. You don't know which one it is, and that's why we have to solve all of them in order to increase the maximum likelihood of conversions for the offer and also solve all their problems, right? And so that is how we turn all the problems into solution sets. So big picture, the first half of creating the offer is understanding what they want, the dream outcome, listing out all the things that are their perceived problems that are blocking them, which for me, I like to think of that as every single intricate step of what they actually have to do in order to be successful. Another hack around that is simply thinking, what is the next need? What is the need before and what is the need after? What is my client journey before and after they work with me? And then trying to solve those problems too. And so the idea here is that we can just lubricate their path from where they are to where they want to go so that they have no obstacles whatsoever that we have not already accounted for. By doing that, we can ensure success, and by extension, make sure that they love us and send all their friends. All right. And so then step 3 is we turn all the problems into solutions, and that is exactly what we did. All right. So that is part 1 of creating the Grand Slam offers, outcome, problems, and solutions. In the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Grand Slam offers, which is sales to fulfillment, how to do it, the cheat codes, and how to actually stack these things into the thing you're actually going to sell them. All right, so if you like this stuff, go to acquisition.com. This is free training, the whole course there. This is under the offers course. There are many other courses that I will be releasing over time, but this is the one that literally initiates transaction with the customer, which is why I think it's most important, which is why the one I started with this first. All right, so I'll see you in the next video, and we'll rack and stack and make an amazing offer for your prospects.